Well, guys, chances of getting March planted beans in is getting pretty low. It has been storming and raining all night. I took Rylan to school this morning and we drove through water 17 times across the road between our house and the school. If you look over there, you can see the water flowing down the waterway, which it's supposed to, but sitting at about 2.3, 2.4 inches overnight. And it's raining pretty hard still. Okay, it's a couple hours later now. I've been doing some computer work and stuff. We're gonna go treat some beans. We've had another inch of rain. We're over 3, like 3 1/4 now. We're gonna have to go drive around, survey the water. It's gonna be everywhere. Let's just go drive around the block a little bit here right now. You can see the water coming across the field here. It runs down that way. Our neighbor's field has a bunch of water on it here. Across the road. There's a county main tile underneath all of that that goes out to an open ditch over there, so that's where it's trying to get to. There are some surface inlets. It'll do it. Just gonna take some time. That water sitting on the corner of our wheat field's not great. Coming from over there. And the river's up in front of us here. So these are all our fields on the south side, the left side here, where you're looking. We put the window down so we can see. Bunch of water out there. A little bit up along the road here. Water across the road. This is going to get worse. This is going to get a lot worse. This is our river here, the St. Joe River. It is going to come up and be out of the banks. This whole field here will be underwater probably tomorrow. Yeah. All right. This is ours over here, these corn stalks. The creek coming out. Got some water over the road here. None of these are our farms, but just going around the block. This one's not too bad. Oh, the water's actually gone down some here. You can see where the debris is, but it's still flowing across the road. Lots of water here on the road because this driveway is holding up. Look at it boiling out here. Culvert's running full. So it's going around. This is all water coming off of our field here. You can see it pouring off the surface. There's also some tile that drain. Look at that. I don't love it sitting on the wheat, but that's going to get away pretty quick. I mean, look at this. Just pouring into the road ditch. Same thing we've got here. The culverts are running full. So that water will get down pretty quick. Coming all the way back over there through this guy's lawn, down the road ditch. And even more up here. Yeah. Not that we were even thinking about it, but I'm glad we didn't put any nitrogen on our wheat last week when it was nice and warm and dry, because we've had 5 inches of rain in the last 4 days, 5 days, something like that. Yeah, this stuff's gone down a little bit already too. Going that way or that way. We spend a lot of time and effort putting in waterways or ditches and trying to manage where the water goes when we get rain like this. Got a big pocket here that holds water. It goes down under the ground across through a culvert. You can see it pouring out there. Ideally down into that tile, but it just can't take it fast enough. Ooh, this is worse than it was this morning. And there's the standpipe there, taking water as fast as it can. think there's another one on the other side of the road too. So, and then you're gonna see, we're coming back up to my house, we're gonna see our wheat field underwater up here. Almost in, yeah, not entirely, but a huge hole right there. I expect most, not all, but most of that water to be gone before tonight, before it gets dark tonight. So, but same thing here, it's coming under a catch basin across the road, boiling out of the ground, running across the surface there. I've even got a pond in my driveway. I do have a surface inlet there. That water's going down. It just cannot get into the tile fast enough. So, yeah. I don't know if it's over now or it's still raining, but it's let up considerably. We'll see if it's gonna stop and start letting the water get away or if it keeps coming today. It is pretty rare that we get these really big rain events, plus 2.5 or even 2 inches. You know, this one's over 3 now in a 24-hour period. I mean, it started at 2 a.m. this morning, and it's, what time now? 10 o'clock. So this one came pretty fast. Got a lot in the middle of the night. It let up, and then we got a bunch here this morning, another inch. So it just takes time for the water to get away, but fortunately it's March and not the middle of April. We've got some time. However, it's not looking too likely that we're going to get any March planted beans this year. Got a little drying to do. We have 17 boxes of beans that need treated today for delivery tomorrow. So I'm gonna pull those out and start working on them. It looks like 3 different varieties, some 2.3s, some 2.6s. We can pull this pile back a little bit, that's good. And then a few 2.8s. So what are we gonna start with here? We got 3 boxes of the 2.3s to do. We might as well start there. Now, changed my mind. I've got those buried by some other ones that I already treated that need delivered yet. The guy said next week. So we'll start with the 2.8s. We'll start with those. We need 4 boxes. Is that right? I wrote it down here. 5 boxes. 5 boxes of the 2.8s. And we got 9 boxes of these 2.6s. Off to a good start here. We got our 5 boxes of the 2856s done. Those were a nice, good seed size. 2,840 seeds per pound. That's right in the middle of average. It's good. Now we're going to do some of these 2674s. These are the smallest beans that I have. They are 3650 seeds per pound. Tiny little beans. Yeah. So they should be okay. We're going to turn our water off. We're just going to turn it right off because we don't need it. We've got 9 boxes of these to do right now. So I've got those all out here and lids off of them. They are getting inoculant. So that's going to replace our water essentially. We'll see how we do, but yeah, they're little. So somebody did leave a comment on yesterday's video, I think, maybe the day before, about when you get these little beans, if you ever combine boxes, to not have to carry so many boxes. I have never done that. I don't know if these would be quite small enough to get 80 units in a box. That's a lot. We used to get boxes of beans with 50 units in them instead of 40, but then not everything was fit, and then you end up with 2 different size boxes, and that's kind of a pain. So all of ours are just 40 units, and the boxes look half empty because of that, but I don't think you could actually get 2 into 1. And I don't think my customers would like it too much if we did that either, because then they're going to think they're getting half as many beans when in reality they're not, but it's a perception type thing, right? The thing about small beans is that they do flow through really fast. These boxes only weigh about 1,500 pounds, 1,534, and we're doing 700 pounds a minute, so it's just over 200, or just over 2 minutes. I could turn it up to 800 pounds a minute, and then we'd be a little under 2 minutes to treat a box. That's fast. Well, I think that looks pretty good. Question is, how sticky are they, but I think they'll be okay. Finishing up the last box of these small beans here. So when we come back and look at them now that they're dry, they look pretty good. Here's what can be an issue though. When you get wet small beans, see how they're not breaking apart real easy there, and I can dig a hole and it leaves a clip. That's not great. Now they do break right apart, and once they're apart, then they're good. So hopefully just running them down the road, bouncing the boxes around a little bit, these will wiggle around and break apart. or when the farmer opens the door on the bottom, they should come out of there. They'll be fine once they're, like I said, once they are broken apart, but they can bridge up a little bit. I could probably put some of our glitter on through our dry additive feeder there, and that would help some of that. It would help soak up that liquid and dry them a little bit faster and lubricate them so they don't stick together. I don't like using that when we're using inoculant though, because I have a theory that the powder and that dryness is not good for our inoculant, so I try not to do that. All right, we got the last 3 boxes going through. We got 2 more to go here, and then we will have our 17 boxes for the day done. So it is lunchtime. I'm going to go in the house and grab some lunch as soon as we're done with that box over there, and then we'll come back out and get our lids put on and everything here. I got a call from a truck driver. He's going to be here about 1:30, so we got to have him out of the way of the door before 1:30. Well, our inoculant worked out perfect. It did not shut down. It finished its batch, and I just looked in there and I'm like, oh, it's empty. Yeah, perfect. Well, we've got a bunch more we can deliver now, so that is good. This is 2 deliveries. Yeah, 2 deliveries here. Is that right? Is there some for a third one? 17. Yep, that's 2 full ones. And then we've got these 5 boxes and some that I think are coming off this truck that we can also deliver, but those are going out untreated, so we don't have to worry about those. It's almost getting bright out, like the sun's shining. Is our water level going down? Slightly. This is lower than it was, but not by much. You can see the trash line there where water was up to. So anyway, I'm gonna go in the house and grab some lunch, and we'll come back out and move our boxes out of the way. Well, I'm back out from lunch. We've got to tag all of these and put the lids on. I've already pulled samples. So I've had a couple people ask in the comments about what the inoculant is for, what the Exceed is for. So we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna put you guys there. I've got my mic on, so you should be able to hear me, and I'm just gonna walk around and tag boxes while I tell you. So soybean inoculant. I use a product called Exceed 500 XR. That is my preferred soybean inoculant. I use it because it is basically just an inoculant. A lot of these inoculants the companies are pushing have other things in there that they use to jack up the price that I don't think do a whole lot of good. Growth promoters or whatever else, and I don't know, I think it's just excessive. So the Exceed 500 XR is relatively cheap. It costs my customers $3 per unit to add the Exceed treatment, which from a treatment standpoint, that's the cheapest thing that you can add basically. So it's very reasonable, but what it does is, okay, so in order to understand what it does, we have to go back to how soybeans work, right? So soybeans are a legume, which basically means that they have a way of making their own nitrogen, although it's not really making their own nitrogen. They have a symbiotic relationship with a bacteria that lives in the soil called Bradyrhizobia. And those Bradyrhizobia will colonize the roots of a soybean plant and basically convert atmospheric nitrogen into a plant available form of nitrogen, because our atmosphere, the air that we all breathe every day, is made up of 78% nitrogen, N2 gas. The problem with that is N2 gas is not available to plants. Plants cannot process and use it, and so it has to get converted into ammonium or a nitrate form of nitrogen, and that's what we do with the Haber-Bosch process when we're making nitrogen, like 28 anhydrous ammonia that we put on our corn crops or on our wheat crop, but we don't add nitrogen to soybeans because soybeans have this symbiotic relationship with this Bradyrhizobia, the bacteria that's in the soil, that fixes nitrogen and provides it to the plant. In return, the plants excrete sugars through their roots and allow those plants, or allow those microbes to feed on that in exchange for the nitrogen that they provide to the soybeans. It's great. Well, This bacteria, this bradyrhizobia, it does occur naturally in the soil, lives in the soil. However, we have found a way to kind of replicate that, or to produce it and add it to the seed. That's what our inoculant is. Essentially, we're inoculating that seed with the bradyrhizobia, the bacteria that fixes nitrogen in our soil and provides it to the plants. So the idea behind inoculating your bean is that you're adding excess, or not excess, you're adding more of the bacteria that the soybeans benefit from, the bradyrhizobia. It's especially important if you're going into a field that has not had soybeans in the last, say, 3 years, 2 to 3 years, because those bacteria will die off over time. They don't feed on corn roots, or they don't have that relationship with corn roots as much, and so your populations will get low. So if you're breaking ground out of, say, long-term CRP, or you're in a long-term corn rotation and you want to plant back to beans, then it becomes much more critical that we inoculate our soybeans. But given how cheap the inoculant is from a treatment standpoint, and a per acre cost, what I have found is that it is worth adding to our treatment on everything, because in my opinion, we get more root nodules. You can visually see the effects. Have I actually taken this to yield? No, I can't say that I have done a really good side-by-side of inoculated versus non-inoculated beans, but I can go out and dig soybean roots in June and in July and visually see a difference in the number of nodules that are on those plants, and tell that, yeah, it's doing something, it's working. And when you have a product that costs $3 an acre, it takes about a third of a bushel of soybeans, less than a third of a bushel, a quarter of a bushel, to pay for that product. And so it's pretty easy to just put it on. Just for clarification purposes, I'll show you this. Bradyrhizobium japonicum. That's the bacteria, and it is 1 to the 10th power colony forming units per milliliter, whatever that means. A box there does 500 units, and so that's what we're putting on. That's why we're using that inoculant. It's to help our soybeans produce more nitrogen. Basically, free fertilizer, if you will. It's not free, obviously, if we're adding a $3 an acre or $3.50 an acre treatment. However, it's much cheaper than if we were to put nitrogen on the beans and supplement them that way. So it's basically, it's to help the beans grow better. Finish stacking those up right as our truck pulled in. Good deal. I think there's a lot on this truck. I think there's like 700 and some units, and there might be some paper bags, and I don't know what all is on here, but I think it's a lot. There was indeed a lot on that truck. We got 6 more boxes of those 2315s that I had kind of buried and had to kind of push them out of the way to get in there. We got a couple stacks of paper bags, which I knew was coming. And then I got 8 boxes of a 2.7 Extend Flex, which 5 of them we were waiting for to go with some of these beans over here. Not sure exactly where the other 3 are going to end up, but whatever. I'm sure they're sold. It's just a matter of finding where they go. So I think we're done down here until we're ready to load the trailer up. Oh, it's like a real shop in there today. We got Phil's helping Xander. Well, Phil's working on the planter with Xander, I guess. He's being Phil. I know you guys don't know him because he's never really been on the channel much, but he's very particular in how he does things, which is fine. But more thorough and detailed on stuff than what I am. So he was looking at some of those closing wheel springs and decided they were not good enough, and he's going to take them all apart and weld them up. I was not going to do that, but he is. So anyway, Xander can help him with that and keep working on stuff. I've got to run to Menards. I need a couple of things. I need some those aluminum pans, like roaster pans that I use underneath the treater for catching beans and stuff coming out the bottom there. I'm out of those. The one I've got is starting to crack and fall apart. So I was thinking, and I could buy more of those, or I thought maybe I should go to Menards and buy a mud mixing pan. They have those little like plastic hard trays. We use them for cleaning out the seat tender. So I was gonna look at those and see if I can get one of them to put under there. That would be a little more durable and work pretty good, I think. So anyway, that's where I'm heading. Then I got a meeting with old sales rep friend of mine that he called me, asked if we could meet up for dinner tonight. And I'm like, actually, I'm going to be in town where you're coming through. Let's do that. So we're going to do that. Water update. So we were through here about 9:30 this morning. It's now 3 o'clock. 5.5 hours later. Let's see how much higher the water is. The high ground, the water's going down. The low ground, the water's coming up. There's the river. It's now pouring out of the river, and this field here is significantly more underwater. Just a little bit of a dry corner. Not even dry, but not flooded corner. There's the across the road. Water is higher. Coming right out of the creek there. Yeah, buddy. What do you think? Plant beans next week down here? It's going to be a while. It's going to be a little while. So, I do find it interesting, though, that the University of Nebraska in Lincoln puts out the U.S. Drought Monitor, and we are still considered in a drought. In fact, you go south and east of here, or even at our Berkey farm, we're in I believe, a D2 drought, a fairly severe drought. I don't worry about being in a drought in the spring. You can't be too dry in the spring. Not here. We get too much rain, too often in the spring, and so I hear that all the time. But are you worried about how dry it is and stuff? No, I'm not worried about how dry it is. This is why. This is exactly what I was looking for. I think that'll work pretty good. I came out from dinner and it's like snowing, sleeting out here. Had dinner with one old sales rep, actually old Sound Ag sales rep, which is a company I still work with. But he's with a new company, Redox, and so we're going to look through their stuff a little bit. Probably do some trials with them this spring. I made it back, got my stuff put in the barn. Our water's gone out of our driveway. That's good. There's still a pile in the field though. So anyway, have a great night. Thanks for watching. Questions and comments down below. This one was probably pretty boring. Sorry about that. We're delivering seed tomorrow. At least a couple runs. It's going to take most of the day, and then we'll see what's going on in the shop outside of that. Going to be sunny at least, but much colder. It's already much colder. 38 degrees out. Wah, wah. Our warm early spring is gone. So, oh well. All right, see you guys tomorrow.